So Saturday I've been busy photographing, videoing and listing, which is the i30 and the Meriva. But the Meriva is out with one of our subscribers having a little test drive with his friend because they've just swung by, and his friend has been given, I won't use their names now because I haven't actually asked permission yet, but his friend has been notified that his little Bipper, or no, it's a Nemo, isn't it? Little Nemo is unfortunately going to cost way too much to get through MOT. It's only got a day or so left on it, and they've estimated £1,000 of repairs. So I think it's got nearly 200,000 miles, he said. So unfortunately, it's just not going to be financially viable. It's got a big crack in his screen there as well. This is one of those instances where it does make sense not to fix it. It's pretty much worth with over 200,000 miles on it, and with that big MOT repair needed, unfortunately. Now they come to see me because he did find his perfect car, another dealership about 40 minutes down the road, and they went to go and look at the car. Pictures looked good online and so forth. When they turned up, it was not really what they thought it was going to be, and just the general look of the yard looked like they'd bought all of their cars from auction, just thrown a bucket over them and stuck them outside. They just looked a bit worn and battered and beaten and not very loved, and they just got a gut feeling that it wasn't the place to buy a car. And I would always recommend go with your gut feeling. You might not necessarily have any sort of particular logic to back it up, but if you're just feeling in your gut that the dealership isn't taking care of their cars, isn't really sort of looking to present them in the best way possible, and they just don't have the attention to detail that you're looking for, then go with your gut, even if the car is kind of exactly the age and mileage you want. At the end of the day, you're paying a premium from a dealership, because if there are problems, you're going to expect to be able to come back, and you want the car prepared right. So yeah, I also always take a second set of eyes, and they kind of agreed between the two of them that it wasn't a place to be buying a car. And then our subscriber thought, Hangfire, James isn't very far from us from here. Why not go and have a look and see what he's got? So they've turned up, had a little look around, and we've decided that probably the Meriva would suit him best, because he's got to get his dogs in the back, and the rear seats of the Meriva slide forwards, and then you've got a nice big boot on them. It's got loads of headroom in it. It's in really good condition. It's got near full service. I think it's only missing one service on it. Bodywork and interior is fantastic. And as a subscriber said to me, I want to pat myself on the back here. He said to me, just the little details, like I can see you've got the aftermarket wheel trims on it, but you've gone to the extent of buying the Vauxhall stickers for them, which I did, so I could put them in the centre of the wheels. You haven't seen that yet because the car's not here. Yeah, you've gone to the extent of putting the stickers in the centre of the wheels just to give it the proper look. And he said that's the kind of sort of attention to detail we really appreciate. And I mean, luckily he's caught me on a day where most of my cars are all washed and looking good as well. I can't say that 100% all of them are. They could go through and pick a couple out. But I tend to keep the pre-prep one in the far back row here. But what I'm trying to do is just keep them jet washed off and keep them as clean as possible, as clean and tidy looking as possible. So even if they're not quite for sale yet, they don't make the place look untidy. I've got to pull the Jazz out actually and give that a clean, because that's going out as a loan car on Monday. While I've got the space here, I might just do that. But we'll see how they get on with their test drive. Right, I was a silly Billy the other day and told you too early about the topped on offer of getting 20% off the jump packs. I'm bringing this one out with me because I'm assuming, based on how long this has been sat here, that it's going to be dead. I don't think I had the best battery in the world anyway, this one. But we'll give it a quick go. I expect we're going to get clickety click click or nothing at all. I think I've got the wrong key. I'm going to get the right key, that'll help. Here we go. This is the right key, I think. Oh, blimey. Okay. No demo of a jump pack today. So sorry, I was on the phone to someone as well as that car was leaving then. That's why I wasn't speaking. So massive thanks to our subscriber there for bringing his friend along who has bought the Meriva. Nice, simple deal. Took it for a test drive, came back and said, yeah, we'll have that, please. So give him a bit of a discount, taking it with the 6 months MOT that's already on it. It's advisory free. My concern about putting cars in for an MOT right now is that they could easily be stuck in there with a Christmas closure and not get turned around in time. So if the cars have got a long advisory free MOT, Pete and I have had a look over them. I've gone for a drive in them, which I had done. I've driven that car for 2 or 3 days. I'm doing keener, cheaper pricing and letting the cars go straight away, because like I say, it wouldn't take much for the cars to get stuck in a garage now with the Christmas closures coming up and not go out the door at all. Well, my lady never turned up on the Captiva, by the way. Captiva, I keep calling it Captiva. It's an Antara, isn't it? I keep calling it Captiva. So this lady messaged me. She said to me on Thursday, she messaged me and said, love your Vauxhall. I'd really like it. We'd like to come up from Exeter and grab it. I said, brilliant, no problem at all. The only thing is I'd like to put a couple of front tyres on it, because there were advisory on the MOT that is already on the car. That's about 7 or 8 months. They're advisory on the MOT. And although they're legal, they're not down to the wear indicators yet. I'd like to do new tyres on it. Oh, right, okay. Well, if you've got any other 4x4s, we can pick up straight away. And I'm thinking, well, you're messaging me at about 4 o'clock on a Thursday, and you've got to come up from Exeter. So you wouldn't be here till 6 o'clock today anyway, and I'd be closed. I'd probably hang on if someone wanted to come along. I said, well, it's going in first thing in the morning for the tyres, so you could be ready by tomorrow afternoon. Oh, no, have you got something that we could take away straight away? I said, well, you could take this away as it stands. I said, with the tyres, they're totally road legal. They'll probably do another few thousand miles, and I'll give you a discount to reflect the front tyres, and you can get them fitted yourself. Oh, right, okay, let me come back to you. Oh, okay, me and my partner will come up on Saturday. Would you be able to have it ready in time? Yeah, okay, well, I said it's going in for tyres tomorrow morning, so it'll be ready on time. So I messaged them on Friday afternoon and said, it's ready to go, all ready to go, new tyres are on. So I'm looking at other cars in my local area, so I'll come back to you if I want to come and see yours. I'm like, oh, right, okay. Then I get a message first thing this morning, Saturday, saying, how many owners has it got? I messaged back, said it had 4 owners, and I didn't hear anything back. So, well, I said I was going to do the tyres anyway, so no harm, no foul, but there you go. Last job of the day, get the Honda Jazz cleaned up, because that is going out as a loan car. This is just such a little legend of a car. So if anybody missed the story on this, I drove my Range Rover up country to go to an auction with Joe from Shifting Metal and buy cheap cars at auction. When we stayed over at the hotel overnight, I came back to the Range Rover in the morning. There was a puddle of oil underneath it. I thought, catastrophic, something's gone badly. Got hold of Adrian, my driver, and said, Adrian, come and pick my L322 away, because like everybody said, it's broken. And so it's going to have to go. So I went to the auction and said to Joe, I'm going to have to buy something to drive home. So I said, what should I buy that will guarantee to get me home? It's got to be super cheap. Little Honda Jazz. Bought the little Honda Jazz, drove, it's only done 60,000 miles, has 100% full service history. 100% full service history. Drove it back 3.5, 4 hours home. Did not miss a beat. Absolutely brilliant. I then... What did I do? I sold it. I put it up for sale. Subscriber's son bought it. They had it checked over by their garage. They weren't 100% happy with it. I think he found some. I think he tapped along the sill and found a little hole in the sill. So I got it back here, put it into my guys, and they said, "Oh, well, actually, we actually think that we'd like to weld up the subframe mounting points to the back as well, if I remember rightly." Yeah. So they did that. It cost me a load of money. I thought, well, I'll just keep hold of it and have it as a loan car. So it's gone out a number of times. Last time I went out to the lady where the clutch went on a Hyundai i20 as it left the bloody yard. The clutch went for some reason. The arm snapped off on the slave, the little arm that comes out in the master snapped off. So she borrowed it then. It was loaned to the lady that had the Nissan X-Trail gearbox done, and she had it and it didn't miss a beat. I've just started it, as you saw, and pulled it over here. That didn't, it started then, even though it's been sitting. And it's just such a fantastic little car. It really is. I know I say that you can't sell cars like this retail-wise. Well, you can't, because I can't make a penny out of selling this car. Now, not for what it's worth, but it's worth 65,000 miles. It's worth its weight in gold to me now, just as having around as a loan car. A subscriber did actually message this week and wanted to buy it. And I was all set to do it, and then realised I'd already agreed to this customer to give it to them a loan car, given them number plates so they could sort insurance out. So I didn't want to muck them around. So he said to let him know as soon as it's available. If I do sell it, I'll be selling it at a loss, like I say, because after I paid for the welding the rear subframe, it's not worth what I've got it tied into it. It's worth more to me, like I said, as just having it around as an ultra reliable car. But what is it, 55 plate? So this is now, holy moly, it's 20 years old, isn't it? Gordon Bennett. But this is why Honda Jazzes hold the money, people, because the only thing they do suffer from is the old rot. But if you can get on top of the rot on it, the mechanicals will last forever. I've seen these with 200,000 miles on. I don't know why I bothered cleaning it, because it's going to be filthy by the time I get it to the customer. So this is going on loan to the customer who had a Ford Cougar off me about 7 months ago. 7 or 8 months ago, they had a Ford Cougar off of me. Within a few months, he noticed it was getting water in the boot. And I said, get it down to Moores, we'll get it sorted, no problem at all. It turns out, and all this time, I didn't know what was going on in the background, is he's been going back and forth to Moores. They've not had a loan car when he's needed a loan car. Then he's gone quiet, then he's rung up and they've still not had a loan car. And he got hold of me this week and said, I'm not getting anywhere with the garage. And I thought, well, how's it taking this long? You should have contacted me way before. And I said, well, I've got a loan car. Get it booked in and we'll get it sorted out. So they do the Ford Cougar, the Ford Fiesta, and what's the other one that suffers from it as well? The Ford Focuses all suffer from water ingress into the boot. I don't know if the Cougars are the same as the Ford Focuses, but they have 2 foam blocks either side. Behind the bumpers, underneath the car, they have 2 foam blocks that absorb water and it goes into the boot. The other place it goes is where the roof is welded together up here. The rubber underneath, the sealant underneath cracks and the water can get in that way. So we'll leave it to Moores to decide where it is. But so I said to him, so I've got a loan car for you. And then he twigged that I live just down the road from him. And he said, oh, you couldn't drop it and swap it over. I should have said no to that, Should have got him to come and swap it over himself. I said, go on then. So I'm going to drive this back to his, pick up his Cougar, bring it in. He said, oh, why don't you just pick up the Cougar, take it to Moores and bring it back again? In the same day. I said, well, because I don't know it's going to take a day to do the repair. Because I'd made a mistake saying, I think it'll probably be an easy fix. It'll be the foam blocks or whatever. He said, oh, if it's an easy fix, just turn it around the desk. I said, well, hang fire. I'm not doing the repair myself. I can't guarantee that that'll be what it is. And if they do have to put sealant on and stuff like that, they'll probably want to leave it 24 hours before they test it and put more water over the top of it. He said, well, I can't be without a car around Christmas. I said, well, I'll leave you the loan car. So that's what's happening tonight. Oh, by the way, for those of you that weren't up to date with what the story was on that, the L2322 hadn't broken at all. I'd left a barrel of oil in the boot. It'd fallen over, leaked through the boot floor onto the floor. So there was absolutely nothing wrong with the car after all. So I never needed to buy this car, but it's a happy circumstance that I did in the end, because it's been a little cracker, even though it bloody owes me a fortune. So a subscriber just rang me about offering me a 106 GTI that's been sitting for a while, which made me go away and do some research as to what they're worth these days. And I just happened to come across this car. Who remembers that car? It's up for sale. Many moons ago, I had on the channel a 106 Rally, which is, of course, the coolest car in existence. And it looks like it's up for sale again. Now, I sold that for 7,000, I think it did. 7,000, 2-3 years ago? I don't know what he's done to it since. If you have a quick look. The car's original, apart from in low with an exhaust, fully resprayed a year ago. New decals, runs really well. I've done the belts, so I didn't need to do the belts. I did the cam belt on it already. He scuffed it already by the looks of it. Cool car. That's really cool. By the way, anybody who's worried about it, he's put his telephone number on the advert himself, so it's there for the public to see. That is... Because my mother-in-law did the interior. I wonder if I've got any pictures of the interior, because my mother-in-law, bless her, spent an age stitching the interior to give me. I got the right fabric, and she redid the interior for me. It looks like that. It's holding out quite nicely, thank you very much. On a Telelight, she did the interior for me on my 205 Rally. That's so cool to see that. Anyway, I better get around to valuing this 106 GTI. The only problem with the 106 GTI has been sat for a very long time. In the last few MOTs, have got some stuff on it about rust. It's a really thing. Someone's passed away and they're looking to sell it, and it's been his since it was 18 months old. There's a lot of sentimental value on it, but the reality is, how much would it cost to recommission that? It's been sat for a long while, and could cost a lot to get together. It doesn't matter what it could sell for. You've got to take worst case scenario. If it might sell for, say, I think it's got 59,000 miles, like $6,000, but you could easily be $2 or $3,000 into getting it ready again, even if it's a good car. And then you've got transportation. I mean, realistically, you've got transportation, and you've got to make a profit on it, pay the VAT man. What is it, 1,500 quid? I'll have to do a little bit more research on it, but I can't. And again, it needs to be at a price point when I sell it that it'll sell quickly. I can't sit on it for 12 months to hope for the right buyer that's prepared to pay a big premium for it. It's a difficult one. I've already told them that, it's a specialist car within the community. You'd probably get a lot more money for it. But they said, we just want really quick sale. We want a really quick sale. We just don't want any hassle. Because I said to them, I'm the person you come to if you want a quick sale without any hassle, not the person you come to if you want to realise its full value. So I can only offer what I offer, and if they take it, don't they? We'll see. You'll know if it's accepted because it'll be on the channel. What's funny about that is I remember Stuart laughing at me when I told him that it was worth $7,000 when I bought it for, I think, 4.5 and spent about £500 or £600 on it. He said it wasn't worth what I was asking for now. and it's worth every penny of that. These are worth that. You can pay $20,000 for a fully restored one. We have here the most expensive bag of sweets known to mankind, because this bag of sweets has been brought to me by Martine, who had the timing chain, no, tell a lie, had the head done on her Kia Sportage. You remember the Kia Sportage that burnt a valve out after, was it 10 or 11 months? Because I knew it had an issue before I agreed to get the work done. She paid for the servicing items like we did on the Kia the other day. She paid for the servicing items to be done. I paid for the head to be taken off and valve to be on. She just bought me this bag of sweets from Grampy Sweets. If you haven't seen Grampy Sweets before, I'll put a link to him in the video description down below as well. He does some fantastic sweets. He set it himself up over COVID in a unit in Bideford down the road now, and he's a bit of a TikTok legend. He's all over TikTok. So yeah, she bought me this bag of sweets, but it's cost me a head repair on a Kia Sportage to get them. So I shall take these home for Brooke, because otherwise I'll end up destroying these here. But yeah, if you're looking to send a gift to someone, then get to the link in the description down below and get some of these yourself. So a deal has been done on the 106 GTI. So what happened was I put a call back. I went through the MOT history. It looks like it might need a little bit of welding next MOT. I think, have I already mentioned that? Anyway, we've got into a bit of a conversation, and I said at the end of the day, I think realistically this will make a great raffle car rather than a retail car, because the people that watch my channel on average are between, I think it is 35 and 65, something like that. And a lot of us will have been tearing around in things like 106 GTIs, Saxo VTSs, Saxos VTRs, that kind of thing. A lot of us will have fond memories for those kind of cars. So it'll probably end up making a good raffle car. And the lady said, well, how does that work? I said, well, I'll raffle the car off and I give a portion to charity. So that would be brilliant, because I work for a charity that deals with, forgive me now, I forget what it is. It was only 5 minutes ago as well. I got a feeling it was autism. I think it might have been autism, not 100%. I'll clarify that later on. And she said, and it was her, I think it was her brother that had passed away. She said, if the car can be fixed up and then raffled off, and it helps a charity, that is just going to be a really good ending to the car, because the brother had it since he's 18 months old. So she thought it would just be a really, although it's sad circumstances, passed away, she thought if the car could be sold, do some good to someone and make somebody else happy to tear around and relive their youth in. Everybody's a win-win-winner on that, aren't they? So we shall be seeing that on the channel soon if things go according to plan. I think she needs to speak to the executors on the will first. As if you need a reminding, this is obviously one of the current raffle cars. I've given you a choice of two on the latest raffle. No, this MR2, that's the boot is only up because Pete was cleaning it, wasn't he? It was running like an absolute champ. I'll put that down now. Nice little twin cam with a chain that lasts, a proper Toyota chain that lasts. So yeah, we've got this little Toyota MR2 that you can win. This has only done like 50-odd thousand miles, isn't it? That has had a fresh MOT on it. Or you can win the Fiat Barchetta, or you can choose £5,000 cash. The link to that raffle is in the video description down below. On this raffle, a portion of the proceeds are going to Sophie's Legacy, which is the charity that was set up after a young girl died to help other families that have children in hospital. So again, link to that will be in the video description down below. For those of you watching on TV, I'll put a link on the channel. Someone spoke to me the other day, or did I meet someone the other day? It told me that they watch on their telly, so they don't get to see where the raffle is. So I'll put a link up on the telly now, and you can pause it. As always, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you on the next one.